Hi, welcome back to Ritika's Art Studio. If you watch my videos already, you might have known I'm sharing simple and basic art tutorials every week. So far, I've shared with you about basics of drawing. In my previous video, I shared about pencil grades and where to use which pencil. So from today, I'm going to share about basics of shading. So to understand basics of shading, it's important to learn how light acts on a subject. So today's video is gonna be about light and shadow. Light and shadow defines an object. Whichever object or subject you take, there is light falling into that subject. So if you want to shade that subject, you have to understand how light falls in it, and when the light hits on the subject, you have to understand how it casts shadow. So that is what we are going to see in this video. So this is an example of how light falls on a subject and it casts shadow. It is actually not as difficult as it sounds. You might have wondered if it's an art video or a physics video. It's very simple if you understand the concept behind it. So I'll explain this with the example. So now take this. This is a room with no light. So it will be full dark and you cannot see anything. Even if I place an object, you cannot see it because there is no light. Now when I bring a light source, so the place will be lit, and what if I had placed an object like this? Will it be totally bright like this? No, because the light falls in this direction. Consider the image like this. So since I placed an object and there is light in that room, it will have a spotlight first. This is called the highlight. And the area surrounding this will gradually decrease the tones like this. So this is how the light will spread in the object. And since the light is in this direction, you will have the shadow here. So these are the first two important things that you have to consider. The highlight, it will be of pure white, just like this. And the shadows, it will be present on the opposite side to the light direction. So just to differentiate the highlight with the rest of the tones, I'm shading it again. So this is here, and you have the highlight present right here. So this is how it will look. So is that it? Is this only the thing that you have to consider when shading? No. Since you have the shadow, you will also have cast shadow. That is right here. You will have a shadow. See here, but not like this. So I'll create the shadow now. Now the shadow will be like this. I'll just correct the shadows. So this is called the cast shadow. Since there is no light in this direction, the object reflects and there is a shadow formed right here. And there is one more thing to consider, that is the bounce light. What is a bounce light means? See, the light is coming here, you have a highlight, you have a half tone. This is called the half tone, and this is the shadow formed. This is the cast shadow. So what is a bounce light means? Since you have a consider this as a floor, you might have light reflected here. So this light will bounce back here. So that will form a reflected light very lightly in these areas. So that will look just like this. So that's the main concept behind this. You have to understand all these things to shade better. You will have a highlight always in your drawings, mostly if you have a normal lighting, except in cases where you have artificial lighting everywhere and you have the whole space covered with lighting, then you will not find a highlight, a proper highlight. But unless that you will have a proper highlight, you will have a shadow, a half tone, a cast shadow, and a reflected bounce light. So these are the things that you have to keep in mind when you shade. I'll list them out. The highlight, the half tone, the formed shadow or the formed shadow. This is the cast shadow, and here you have the bounce light. So if you consider all these things, it is more than enough to understand shading and shade better. So to make you understand this better, I will shade and show you a cone with a highlight, a shadow, a form shadow, and then the bounce light. Now this is the cone, and consider this side we have the lighting. So from here to here you will have the shadow formed, and here you will have the cast shadow, just like this. And here we'll have the highlights. So I'll shade this side fully now. So from here the tones will actually gradually decrease like this. I'm not focusing much on the shadows, I'm just using lines to shade it. and this side you'll have a little bit of darkness. Remember, always whenever there is a highlight, you will also have a shadow beneath it or just next to it. Since this is the cast shadow, it will be very dark. Just to differentiate the object from the surroundings, I am shading these areas too. It's almost over, but in order to increase the tones a little bit, I will use the 8B pencil so that the shadow is really dark. You can try shading objects like this or any other object like a sphere, square. So I hope you learned few important things in this video. If you like this video, don't forget to like, comment and share it with your friends and family. In my next video, I will share with you in detail about pencil shading. Bye.